Hi superstars, I'm Cali-Jāz and welcome to my channel, dedicated to helping you craft the life of your dreams. We're on day 6 of a 21-day positivity challenge. If you're new to this challenge, I recommend that you go to day 1 and start there. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. And if you've been doing the challenge with me so far for days 1 through 5, then welcome back. I hope that you are enjoying yourself. I hope that you're feeling the positivity, the high vibrations flowing in your life. And if you completed the challenge yesterday, then I'd love to know, how was it? Did it raise your vibration? Could you feel a difference? I know for me, the positivity notes make a big difference for me. I love bumping into them. I love being reminded of things that are important for me to remember. And so I'm hoping they did the same for you. I did want to mention, if by chance one of your notes kind of rubbed you the wrong way, sometimes, I've in the past put up a note, a reminder for myself or something, and it actually didn't lift me up. Maybe brought me down or reminded me of something that doesn't make me feel good. So when this happens, I just wanted to mention that in these cases, it would be great to take down that note and replace it with one that actually does lift you up. It's so important to pay attention to how you're feeling. And one of the biggest things about conscious creation is really tuning in to how you're feeling. How do things in your life make you feel? And especially these positivity notes, but really everything, our things in our life take on the meaning that we give them. And so that can come from, our histories, our ideas, our beliefs, our patterns. So many things affect the way that we perceive the world around us. And so if you encounter something that, even if it hypothetically should be positive, if it doesn't lift you up, then yeah, get rid of it and change it out for a note that does something that really does inspire you, because the point of these is to lift you up. It's also great to notice which notes bring you the most joy, which ones really get you fired up and make you feel inspired and alive. And if only one of those does that, or 2 of those of your 6 do it, or if you put up 10 and 3 of them really make you happy and the other ones are just, okay, then you could fine tune those as well. You could put up, try different notes, try different messages and see if they make you feel better. Because the point here is to raise the vibration of the places around you so that you can feel those good vibes flowing all day long. Okay, so now let's get into day 6, which I'm calling the good news filter. Now, before I get into the specifics of this challenge, I want to talk a little bit about the why that's behind it. Have you ever noticed that there's a lot more negative news, bad news, if you want to call it bad news, than good news that is reported? In fact, the estimate is about 90% of the news that we hear on a daily basis is negative, and only 10% is positive. Now, this is not indicative of the things happening in the world. It's not that 90% of the things happening are bad and only 10% are good. In fact, it's probably reversed. But the bad news tends to be what is reported. Now, why is that, do you think? Well, I'm going to give you a little brain science behind it. It's because our minds are actually wired to seek out negative news, spread negative news, and remember negative news a lot easier than we remember, spread, and take in good news, seek it out. Now, why is that? Well, my theory is that back in the day, way before modern times, our ancient ancestors really needed to know the bad stuff. The bad stuff could mean the difference between life and death. For example, let's say that your uncle Eagle Bones died of a snake bite from a snake that had a rattle on its tail. So it might be really important to remember that. for a young child or anyone in the tribe might be a life or death situation. And so our brains, for survival reasons, are really wired for remembering the bad news. But the good news, like maybe let's say that there's these amazing smelling flowers that are over on the ridge by this old oak tree, that's good information. But it's not necessarily really important information. It's not life or death information. And so I think it's a survival skill that makes our brains so attracted to negative information. It's really important to remember these things. And so we're sort of hardwired that way. And it's carried forward into our modern times where maybe it's not so important to know all of those negative stories that get passed around, but the media knows that this is what we seek out. It's what our brains crave. And so they want to give us what we're looking for. I think if you have any media channels out there, news channels that were only reporting good stuff, I mean, it would be nice, but maybe, they wouldn't get the viewers that they're looking for. So I think that in the ancient world, it was great to be able to remember and know all of this negative information and pass it on. It was like a survival thing, not only to know it, but to pass it on. And so we tend to do the same now. However, I think that we can all agree that maybe we've overdone it a bit, and maybe there could be some room for more positivity in our lives. So our challenge for today is to be a good news filter. And this means, one, paying attention to good news that you hear and passing it on. And maybe if you're scrolling through your media feed and you see, that negative headline that normally you would jump right in and read, maybe pass that on today. And maybe even seek out some positive information, some good stories, something that warms the heart and makes you feel good. And if you find one, passing it on. And it really does make a difference, because while it's important to know things that are happening in the world, for a lot of people, it's also really important to lift ourselves up and to feel positive. So too much negative information really can bring you down. And it's important to balance it out with some good stuff now and then. So today's that day. Today's the day to balance it out with some good information. And you can really determine what information you're going to pass on. Are you going to pass on compliments? Are you going to pass on cool stories that make people feel good? Are you going to pass on, words of affirmation or compliments? I might have said that already, but you know what I'm saying. What kind of information are you going to pass on today? Is it going to be positive or negative? Well, if you're doing this challenge, it's going to be the positive. And not only is it going to make you feel great, it's going to make the people you pass it on to feel great too. So I keep mentioning things about vibration, and I just want to say that information is vibration. And all of the information that you digest on a daily basis, we read information, we like information, we share information, we create information. We do all of this stuff with information, and all of that information is vibrating. And that vibration is affecting you. It's either lifting you up, or it's bringing you down, or it's keeping you at a neutral. Well, so today what we're going for is we're going for the high vibes. And so what we're going to do is we're going to focus on that good information that feeds your heart, feeds your soul, and spreading that around the world today. So just to be clear, today's challenge is to really pay attention to your relationship to information and to consciously choose to vibrate, connect to, share, digest, create positive information. Just for today. It's just one day. See how you feel. Play around with it. Notice if it makes you feel better, how it feels when you send something. If you do pass on any negative information, pay attention to how that makes you feel. It's really about, this dance with doing and feeling, and letting your feeling guide you. I want to feel good. Making that choice that I really want to feel good. I really want to raise my vibration. So what do I need to do in this moment, right now, to make that happen? So today's mantra is, I am an influence for positivity. I am an influence for positivity. And it really is true. You have the power to raise the vibration not only of yourself, but the world around you. And while this challenge might seem like a simple one, it might be trickier than you think. As I mentioned earlier, 90% of the information you're going to find is negative. And your brain is looking for that negative information, wanting to pass it on. It really is part of like the way our brains are wired. So you're going to be going upstream against this hardwired brain activity. But I know you can do it. So I encourage you to try it and play with it and notice, like, how does it feel to be receiving negative information versus positive information? Do you notice the difference? When you share something positive, how does that feel? And just really connect to the feelings you get as you are creating information, digesting information, sharing information, liking information. Yeah, I would love to hear how this goes for you. I know that definitely when I am focusing my attention on positive information, sharing it, spreading it, I know I feel better. It makes me feel so good to share something positive, to know that I'm bringing positivity into the world. I hope it does for you too. I hope you enjoy today. And I'll see you here tomorrow for day 7, which will bring us to 1 full week of positivity. That's going to happen tomorrow. And until then, as always, I'm sending you big love, and I'll look forward to seeing you here tomorrow. Bye for now.